Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jan 30 Zeam call. We will go over updates, look at what's happening in DevNet 2 and our preparation for DevNet 3. And maybe we have some exciting demo that Partha will show us. So let's start by updates from Kai.
Uh, last last week, mostly I'm working on the .NET 3 community application spike implementation. I already drafted the PR, mostly implement all the features, but maybe I need to check the latest Spike PR, try to see if any exactly match it. Mm. And also looking at the .NET2 error logs. Yeah, I found several issues related to libp side in dialog. So seems there are at least 3 issues with different clients. Yes, but I found so we actually we have something to do in the comments already. So maybe we need, I think maybe we need implement it, such as Rust libp swarm mutex. I think there is already a draft PR earlier by Gilmer, change it to use actor model. Yeah, and also we also have another PR by Ansher, which scheduled gossip to the Z event loop thread. So I think, yes, maybe we need that 2 PRs. So what are your thoughts?
Got it. So, first of all, I have seen your DevNet 3 PR and I will review it. I see that you have made 5 intervals, which is what we decided. So that looks fine. And I don't understand, for example, why you needed publish with topic, because the gossip message itself has topic in it. So publish call, that's why it was just normal publish, but it's sort of a name, small name change. So I will look into it and see. Also, we need to remove attestation publishing. So I don't see you have removed it. Have you removed it?
Yeah. So I haven't. So yeah. So at that time, I think we discussed with we have global topic and also subnet. So maybe I think maybe we changed it to only use subnet. So yeah, I will.
Yeah. So once we remove that, then we also need to import the aggregated signature instead of the attestation. single instead of that gossip attestation that we had before. Now instead of that, we need to import the aggregated uh, attestation. So that will also need change. But yeah, all right. When do you think you can do these changes in the PR?
Uh, it- at the weekend.
All right. So whenever this is ready by Monday, I think I
Mm.
hope I can. This PR looks quite ready and quite mergeable. Apart from that, yes, Mercy.
No, sorry, I was looking at the spec, the committee aggregation spec, and I found out that there's some things we're not testing, and I wanted to know if it's something we also want to look at. Maybe after the PR is merged, I can pull out a test case for it. For example, when is aggregator true, the code filters attestation by subnet before storing signatures in gossip signatures. So the part is never like exercised in test. We have something like the compute subnet ID calculation for both current validator and attesters. They're not tested. So, and also on gossip aggregated attestation is also not tested. So the entry point for receiving aggregated attestation from committee gossip topic, the test call, there is no test call to that method. So I think maybe
So what we can do is basically once Kai spec PR is merged, you can create follow-up PRs to add those things.
okay.
Yeah, that would be good. I think, Mercy, if you can you add test onto the follow-up PRs, right? So that is something that will definitely add value and improve the code quality. But I don't want Kai to, just say that, okay, I need to get all the tests as well. So let's get the spec PR merged soon, and then let's follow it up with the test. So let's not hold up with a single change. Uh, and I think incremental process is much better. Moving on to DevNet 2, Kai, what was that issue with the gossip queues being full? So we need to increase the length of gossip queues or what?
So, mm, so, so I already mentioned it. So maybe, I think maybe the the Rust the network thread, mm, uh, handled so many logics. So there are no time to send out the messages. So I think
I don't think that should be the problem because it seems like I mean the activity is not so much, right? There's not so much happening all the time. There is definitely something that it can publish message, and if it's trying to publish message, it might be running in race against something. So not all the calls should fail, if you are correct. So we need to figure out why we get that error, and we need to basically resolve it. And if we need to put up a queue for publishing or handling the gossip messages, then we should do that. We don't have a queue, and we can do it in Rust, right? We don't need to do it in Zig. If I think when the messages are coming from other peers, so one of the things that you are saying is to push them in a processing queue to schedule them. This is what you were saying earlier.
yes. Yes, because I think we already add some mutex in our fork
Yeah.
choice and
Are we discussing
yeah,
about the
state
issue
translation.
are we discussing about the issue that Gajendra you had posted logs for?
Yep.
Yeah, so I think it is related to multiple threads trying to access the map, and there's like a implicit log that Zig tries to acquire, and it wasn't able to acquire that log because two threads are one was trying to write into it, and another was trying to read from it, and I think that was the reason why we were seeing that issue.
But why would it fail? Why would it not wait for mutex lock to be acquired? And basically, whenever the, for example, if reads thread has already acquired the lock, then it would be released, right?
No, it
Then
doesn't wait. It doesn't wait. If we do it without a mutex, then it doesn't wait. I have added a mutex lock, so now it will wait. But the default locking mechanism that is given out of standard library, so in there it checks like what's the status of the lock, and if the lock is already acquired by some other thread, it basically there's a assertion statement out there. It basically panics there. So after
yeah,
the lock, it won't happen. And I think like we have already merged that PR, so we should not see that issue right now. But earlier it was because of the functionality, how it is implemented in like the standard library itself.
got it. And the other thing that we are trying to do is scheduling the gossip messages so that lip P2P is freed up
Yeah.
rather than waiting for the Zig code processing. So that PR is already up, or
That PR is already up, but it has been up since last 2 3 months, and I think like it is easier for me to re-implement it from scratch because right now there must be many merge conflicts that have come, and we have changed quite a lot of things. So I'll create a new PR for that. I had created it, I think, in October, if I remember it correctly. But yeah, that is something that I'll have to rework upon.
all right. From what I remembered was that when I tried to schedule it, and I think there is a comment onto these lines as well, that it was not getting scheduled and the messages were not reaching the Zig execution uh, point, right? So I'm not sure whether that problem is resolved. It's just resolved, then let's do this PR and get it merged.
Yeah, I took reference from Ghosty, which is like a Zig terminal. Kai had also pointed few code snippets from there on my PR as well. So I think like it has been resolved now and it should work fine. I'll raise a PR and then we can go about it again.
Yeah, I think yes. If we can free up lib P2P as much as possible, that will be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So is Kai doing this PR or you are doing it, Anshul?
I'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, Kai. Anything else you want to add?
No, I will continue check other issues. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe for the block by root RPC, maybe I'm not. We just so we just test with Zeam, right? So currently, we have some issues with grounding and lantern things. So there are two different issues.
All
But-
right. So can you get those things resolved and put up the PRs for him when you have fixed those issues?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Mercy.
Sorry, if it's about the log on while we are not getting finality, the issue on grinding is more of signing attestation correctly. Their implementation is not they're not hashing the full attestation structs, including validator ID. That is instead of just the
No, I
attestation
think
data.
Guy is asking about block by root sync, so that is different from what you're saying.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, Katya.
Yes, hello. What I've found in the logs, so Zeam has been restarted many times, and it it restarts when getting RPC request from East Lambda. So it seems like it's like SSD error. So it fails on block by root, and there is, I see out of memory issue. It's all in the logs in the interop.
Yeah. I saw that. So it's weird. So it seems load a bin file from that request, so it throw a mem out of memory. Yeah.
Yeah, so this one is also like should be investigated and fixed because
So
definitely.
in that sense, then we basically need to also say that how much we need to also check that something that we can't decode by is it blowing up the memory, right? So if there is a problem decoding something, then we should throw an error and not crash.
Yes, exactly.
So at some points we should have the checks for how much into what length we'll decode into, right? So we should make that, and if that is exceeding at any point, then we should bug out early. So what might be happening is that you might be trying to allocate something big to decompress something, right? So we need to add maximum checks for that and not try to allocate beyond a point.
I think we already do that in Snappy.
So why
Probably,
is this
yeah, it makes
problem?
sense to check with it Lambda because it's a new client, so probably they send something different. I mean, so there can be, I don't know, another issue with them. But
Yeah.
anyway, we need to have this
So
error check.
that means that there is a point where that check, well, some check is missing, right? We should not allocate beyond some point, and that is what it seems to be happening, that we are trying to allocate so much because it might be saying that we might be trying to decompress it. We might infer that the length was quite big, right? And trying to allocate that. So this is my guess, but yeah, it needs to be checked out.
No, so I am not sure if we are crashing because of out of memory because of while decoding a particular request, we do have like some memory leaks, or maybe we are not freeing up the memories in some of the maps. But I'll look into this. Like if this is happening, like we are going out of memory while trying to decode a particular request, because yeah, that should not be the case.
Yep.
I will
And
share the
also,
logs, the cut from the logs in the channel.
and also what I want is that we have most of the code for snappy frames in the Zeam code itself instead of our snappy frame library. So we should also basically separate it out and update that in library. I don't think we are using the library. We are doing decoding, and we have implemented everything again back in Zeam code itself and ETH lib2p package itself. So that is something that I don't want. I want it to be abstracted out as a library to be used by us. So can we upstream that as well and use it as a library instead of writing everything over here? And I don't even understand that why we had issue with Ream, because in DevNet 1, those errors were not coming, right? Or Ream was not even processing status request or
I
block by
think,
root request.
yeah, I think they were not processing those requests because the code that was present was from more than 3 months ago. So that can be the only solution, like the plausible explanation to that.
Got it. Okay, let's figure out the memory issue, because I think that is pretty important. We should not crash because somebody sent us a request. And that means that we should bound the memory allocations. And if there is some point where it's not getting bound, then we should check about it. Yep, that could be the issue that because Snappy Frame is also checking for lengths and doing its own allocation. I'm not, so it could be that it's not bounded over there.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Got it. Okay, Anshul, we can move to your update, I guess.
Yeah, so during the start of the week, I was mostly looking into the DevNet 2 issues, and initially the issue that Sharik has raised. So he eventually raised a PR. I did a bit of work on that front as well, but eventually his PR got merged. Apart from that, I also looked into the gossip signature error that we were seeing. So my PR got merged on that. Apart from that, I was looking into Mercy's PR about P2P sync. So her PR got merged. I have also raised another PR that fixes some of the comments that I had made there. And apart from that, I had a few more ideas about which I had created an issue. So Mercy has already reviewed it. I'll be posting my thoughts on that, but I don't think we need any changes right now. But yeah, I'll post it on the PR itself. Apart from that, maybe Gajendra, you can take a look at the issue and the PR also to basically point out if you think like more checks are required on that front. Apart from that, I was also trying to profile Zig programs. I couldn't spend much time on that, but we had also thought about discussing that with Guillaume, but he's also not present there. So like there's a Tracy uh, Tracy allocator that is basically useful in that, and apart from that, there's Valgrind that is popularly used to profile C++ program, C++ program. So I think it should be compatible with Zig as well. So I'll it's not on my priority. I'll first try to fix like the interop issues and the scheduling issues that we have that we want to do with libxcv. Once I'm done with that, I'll like resume this work.
Got it. And so one of the things that I saw was that in the log we were getting unknown source block errors, and it should have triggered the sync, and it was, I don't know. So seemed like the node was stuck and no sync was happening. Do we know the reason for that, or maybe the peers were not giving us the blocks, or whatever peer were sending us. So all the peers were sending us the attestations, and we were getting unknown source. And it should have triggered sync, and why did it not trigger block by root sync? Or you checked, and if it triggered, what was the reason that it was not completing or was failing?
uh, I ideally like it should trigger it, and I believe like it must have triggered it. I'll check the logs, but maybe we don't had enough peers, and that particular head block wasn't present with one of the peers. But
So
I cannot.
we had peers. We were getting attestations from 3 peers. We had 3 peers, but in any case, we had a peer which sent us that attestation. So it must have
Mhm. Yeah,
the
I'll
change.
logs. I'll look into the logs and see if I can replicate it. But this should not be the case.
I think it's just worthwhile to check what the error was, and we'll be able to decipher from there what happened. Because one of the things, Katya, that you have uploaded was the console log, but what we want is the file log that we write, because file log has more information in it. Or otherwise, when you are starting the Zeam node, basically you can start it at log level debug. That way, you will have all the logs if you are just picking it from console.
Do you mean for DevNet? So we're missing the flag, or?
For DevNet, so if you are collecting the logs from console, then you should add minus minus log level or something like that as debug, because then we don't have the debug logs. All the logs, I think, that you that were there in the log file that you uploaded was basically info, warning, error, those levels, not below that, because by default we don't log anything more than info in the console, and by default debug in the file. So either use the file, share the file, or basically change the console default level to debug.
Okay, I will look into it. So probably on Ansible side, we should add the flag. Okay.
Yep. So I generally prefer that the debug logs get written to file and only info logs get written to console, because console, most of the times we look to figure out, okay, everything is looking good or what's happening, and then if we need to debug, we can do the file logging, because if you put debug logs on console, then it becomes too much noisy, right? So but this is my viewpoint, and since you guys are doing debugging and figuring this out, so I leave it to you guys to figure out if you want to have debug level logs on console as well. All right, so let's move to Mercy.
Hello. So this week, yeah, I worked on some few bug fixes, like the block by root protocol URL parts that was causing sync issues, sync failures with pairs, and also fixed the link validator count metrics that not being expected on Scrap by properly initializing the metrics to 0 in beamchain.init. And then on logging and observability, I reduced sort of like log noise by downgrading the unknown parent, and then I added new aggregator attestation signature metrics to track both the numbers of aggregated signatures produced and the total attestation included. And also, I updated the client Docker tag for DevNet 2 deployment on link quick start. I tried investigating a non-finality issue, but using the logs, I only found some few issues around grinding, lantern, and then lighthouse. Although I noticed a lighthouse was more of BLS signatures instead of our normal XX signatures, which obviously was the reason why it was inactive throughout the whole run. And then on Lantern side, Lantern can't receive blocks because their gossip sock frame size is capped at 1 MB, while we are required to have 1.03. So that was why everything gets silently dropped. Then on grinding, grinding was signing attestation incorrectly, and then hashing the full attestation structs, including the validator ID, instead of just the attestation data. So all their proposed blocks get rejected and then still broken. That's all from my end.
Got it. And what are you currently working on?
I'm trying to capture issues I can work on and maybe spec related or not.
So Nupur, are there any issues that are out open that you can assign to Mercy? I think Mercy, so once Sky's PR is done anyway, you should follow up with test cases that needs to be added over there.
Okay.
Yes, Katya.
Just a quick remark. We don't run Lighthouse currently for DevNet, so they delayed the new images, so we don't run the Lighthouse for now.
Understood.
Okay, I was referring to the first log that I tried to look into, the first one you shared.
Did I share Lighthouse? So it's just the latest logs should be checked. There wasn't Lighthouse. Yeah, maybe you mean Islam, though. I don't know.
All right. So let's move to you, Katya.
Yeah, I was working a lot on the server side, like setting up Grafana, adding accounts for users and yeah, collaborating with the teams. So currently, I don't like how Prometheus works. So probably for the new setup, we will try Victoria metrics because it's kind of hanging. So the dashboards are also hanging. So maybe there's not good communication between servers, or just Prometheus is overloaded. So it's the way to improve. I also added metrics, DevNet2 metrics on Grafana dashboard, and so we also collaborated on the new Hessner setup. I worked on open issues like client readiness, updated them, or default Docker images, which was closed. Currently, I've noticed that we still have we still don't have branch in the Docker metadata, so I'm going to collaborate with Nupur on this. So probably there were updates after my PR was merged, so probably something has changed, so we need to check. So yeah, I've seen your comment, Gajinder, on the safe target metric. So probably after some fixes, we'll look back into it again. And I continue working on the config file. So this week, I found out that all the validator config file is copied to the server. So it means if I update images, they also need to be copied. So my new idea is maybe we need some kind of final deploy config, which will contain the updated images from the users files, and probably we need to join into one file. I've just noticed that we have annotated validators, then simple validators. So a lot of files that seem like duplicate, but I'm not sure yet. I'm just looking into it deeper. So how everything looks. So some kind of refactoring, which I'm trying to do, because currently images are, for example, not used on the server from the config file, but we are going to add other flags and params, I don't know, metric stores, etc., etc. So it can grow. Potentially, it will grow, and yeah, probably we just need to refactor this. So this is what I'm trying to do, and yeah, we'll push soon. And I have a question. So I've seen that Chitani's PR was merged regarding the fork choice visualization. So shall we try it on the dashboard? So is it expected to work for now?
Is it merged? Who merged it?
It's not merged. Oh, okay, maybe, yeah. I just messed up.
So the reason I'm saying that because I am working a bit on changing the way that tree is printed. So I was surprised when you said that it's merged.
Yeah, maybe I just messed up the messages from emails. So yeah, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make some changes over next 2 days, and because the way I want the information to come out when the fork choice is printed, not when it's sent to Grafana, that is a different thing. But even on log, I want it to compress so that you can get maximum information out of it, maximum useful information out of it.
Okay.
So that is what I'm with.
Yeah, regarding DevNet2 restart, so today I'm still waiting for, so after the call, I will announce again if someone has updates. So currently it's Lantern only, but anyway, the resources are coming to their end, for example, memory for some clients. So at some point I will have to stop the running DevNet, so because it doesn't make sense to run it if you don't have finality, just wait for clients updates.
So you can run the DevNet with a smaller subset, right? You don't need to run with all the clients.
Yes, and I can maybe check some Ansible setups while everyone is not ready, so or smaller DevNet as well.
Yeah, I mean, so whatever clients are ready, we should run with smaller DevNet so that at least those clients can get the long running experience as well as any issues that need to be fixed. We don't need to wait for everyone else to be ready. So maybe we can have two sort of DevNets running. I don't know.
There's
One with most
no,
clients.
so I'm not
Yeah.
sure like which client causes, because it may be different clients. Like should I exclude, for example, Grandin? Should I exclude this Lambda? Other clients also like maybe concerned why we're excluded. So it should be quite clear. So why we exclude other clients, for example, that's also a question. At least we had stable running for 4 clients. So I can just went back to them, Zeam, Ream, Queen, and Lantern. I
So-
also can.
So the way it should be done is that you have these 4 stable clients, and next clients you add without validators, right? So you don't assign a validator to them. So basically, you don't even shut down the network. You just run them in the read-only mode, and when they show stability, basically then you can redo the network, right? So
Yeah, okay.
unless
That's it
they
from my
send us
side.
request response blocks by root and we crash. So let's fix that out. Let's not crash.
Oh, yeah, we also can continue like check syncing, or I don't know, sync simulation if it makes sense while other clients are fixing.
Yep.
I don't know. We can try, for example, Zeam syncing, how it works again.
Right. So lean point sync is something that Zeam might be ready with, and we'll see Partha's update on that, I guess.
Yeah.
So we should start trying that and maybe push Ream to also implement it and get it done. So maybe we can start pushing some clients to be ready to use it.
Okay, that's it from my side.
All right. Thanks, Katya. So we will go to Nupur. Yes, Mercy, your hand is up.
So I just wanted to include that if you can like have a sort of how will I put it, a checklist, so that if we discover that okay, this client is failing or they are part of the problems, we are not having finality, then we kind of list them out. Then once they are ready, we'll ask the kind of signify that they are ready. For example, the issue that happened in the first DevNet with grinding was actually the recurring issue, meaning they did not fix it. So assuming we only had like 5 clients per se, there might be possibility of us actually like having finality if no other issue reoccurred. And then Lantern did a good job. The first issue they had weren't the second issue that came up that caused the non-finality. So it would be kind of nice if clients can signify once if particular fix have been made, instead of us trying to rerun the same code with the same bug with no attempted fix to it. I don't know if it makes sense. And I also wanted to ask,
we don't
if
run like same. If we run same, it means we are out of resources, because we also manage resources like memory. So sometimes it just makes sense to stop.
So another way to do is that you allocate majority of the validators to the stable clients, even if you are allocating validators to the other nodes. So even if they are down, the network keeps progressing. So that is another way to do that. And while they come in and go, and basically, also enable them to start and run their own clients, right? So not everything gets choked at your endpoint, right? So if you do that and basically enable them to debug and fix their own clients while the network is proceeding forward, I think that is a good way to move.
Yeah, this is how I'm doing, like announcing in the channel, like who has updates. And
All right, so let's move to Nupur.
So I worked on the release process, and I got the Telegram messaging, Telegram updates after the release process, and the branch push in the release process. So that is done, and I also created a release setup for Lean Point as well. It was a small change there. And yesterday I was doing some housekeeping, and I actually wanted to discuss, like, there are a lot of issues that are open from August, like from DevNet 0 time. So, and a lot of those are like not even like not they were not Zeam tasks. So can I go ahead and close them? There's an issue like Dora, of setting up Dora, but I don't think we are going ahead with that right now. So, like, I think we should close those issues because it just shows up in the Zeam issue list, and it looks like we have like 60 plus issues currently, and it doesn't just look good.
Yep, let's clean them up. Whatever is not current, let's close them out. And if you have doubt on anyone, ask in the channel or ping me.
Okay.
All right, and thanks for that release notification. It was pretty cool.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, let's move to Chaitanya.
Yeah, hello everyone. So this week I put out the Poseidon integration. So that is the first thing I did, and apart from it, got the metrics library fixed upstream as well. But I created a fork because we are on a different SIG version. I have transferred the ownership to block place for that one too, and that I have tested it works. And the primary way I found out about it was while I was testing the justification caching earlier this month. So I was just unsure, and then that is how I found out the bug. So I also got to test the justification caching, and the results for the caching in itself are pretty good. On an average, it's just from building the map, it gives a 6 times increase. The highest I saw difference between the hits and the miss was around 11 times. The lowest was somewhere around 3. So it's good, but I added a lot of metrics just to see initially where the time in the state transition is actually going. And though it is a good upgrade in just in terms of justifications, I see more it's very negligible in the grand state transition function scheme. So most of the time, around 85% of the time is just going right now in hash tree root calls. So that is something I'd really want to get optimized first. Also, Guillaume also pointed some time back that we should get a V1 out for SSG as well. So maybe it could be just part of this, and we could have a V1 out. And it's also linearly increasing as I shared in the group. So the first hashing call, hash tree root calls are sub millisecond, but it grows to over 30 milliseconds in just about 8 to 10 hours of a testnet run. So the multiplier is in the 100 folds. So that is something I'd really want to work on. And the PR for the justification caching is out. So it's out for review. And also another thing I have it written it, it's a very small change, was the cache eviction. Since we probably do not need to keep the cache growing, I just push the code. So what it does, it just keeps the current block and the parent block root as the target in the cache, and then evicts everything else, so that we do not just grow the cache without any purpose. So if that is required, I'll just push out that commit as well. I have it. It's just a very small change. And apart from it, today I started working on the root to slot caching as well, and I'll put that out sometime today.
So cache eviction for exactly what?
The justification caching, right? So it probably just needs to look up the parent. So if we just keep on adding all the history, I don't think it will make
But
sense.
when we prune for finalization, for finalize, then we should prune from there. But why don't we prune from the caching as well?
Right. It's not part of the PR yet. I was just asking, should I add this eviction, or is it not
Yes,
required?
of course,
Okay.
we need to add the eviction, otherwise we won't be able to take it in. Yes.
So the eviction, right now what I am doing is just keeping the current as well as the parent. I think that should be enough if we just need the parent anyway.
Current and parent what?
Uh, the the keys, the keys that we check against in the cache.
Okay, maybe I'll see the PR and then understand it.
Okay, I'll just push that commit out right now and share it. And on another note, since we were talking about we should not again fail. Let me just paste in the link. So right now in the Poseidon changes, uh, there was also, it was suggested by Partha, and it's a good check. But what it does, it would make the Poseidon hashing panic if the input is not SSE compliant. So why it had to be done is to again uh, to be sure that the input is always the fixed 64 byte SSE standard. But why we cannot throw an error here and chain it upwards is because that would make the API incompatible with SHA, because SHA does not throw an error. So I couldn't just throw an error over here. So if we move to Poseidon, I mean, it shouldn't happen in the first place, but we could probably also just add a sanity check, making sure the calls are always 64 standard SSE calls.
All right. I think discuss this with Game. Game is here. I already here now. So whatever Game recommends.
Okay, I didn't quite get the question.
So right now, the Poseidon hashing that we implemented in Hashzig, so it expects input the buffer size as 64 bytes, which is the standard for SSE. And just to have a check, we added just a if statement to check that it complies with that. And if it does not, then it panics out. So should we have that in the first place? Because could there be a case where we could call hashing with a higher than 64 byte due to some error or some, I don't know, some noise probably?
Okay, maybe I misunderstand, but we're doing SSE hashing, right? So how could it not be 64?
It should be. I'm just again, I don't know if there could be any case where we could
So
have
what?
some false data.
So the trade-off is between having a function that throws an error or a function that throws panic. And what I think DM is saying is that since it is not possible for us to give it an input, so we can just throw panic and that should be fine.
I mean, like the encoding should not work if, yeah, I mean, okay, panic might be the wrong thing to do. Returning an error maybe, but yeah, like this is invalid input if that's the case. So we should definitely treat it as such.
So I think if you throw as an error, his issue is that SHA hashers API doesn't throw an error on such input, and so it will. So you can't basically have the same interface, an abstracted interface in SSE for that.
Okay, I didn't quite get what you said.
So in SSE now, hashing, basically hasher has an interface, right? So
Yeah.
that you need to provide, and you can't have the same interface between SHA and Poseidon if you throw error.
Ah, right.
So I think panic for now is okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, once again, you're not supposed to get that, so you need to point out there was an error. The panic, of course, is not ideal because the thing dies, but at least you know exactly where it dies and you can fix it.
All right, sounds good. Anything else, Chaitanya?
No, this was all for this week.
All right. Before we move to Partha, I'll give my update. I was looking at the PRs. I'm trying to look at the visualization PR, trying to make sure that there is a useful log when we are trying to visualize the fork choice tree. And then also looked at spec discussions for DevNet 3 and DevNet 3 PR, and some debugging for DevNet 2 long runs that is ongoing. Yeah, that is my update. So, Guillaume, if you want to chip in with an update before we move to Partha.
Not really. Yeah, I'm still working on it. Had some hardware failure that was blocking me this week. Yeah, but still doing the same thing.
All right, let's move to Partha with his update, and then let's have some demo time.
Thank you. So last week, I looked into a CPU issue on Zeam where Zeam seemed to be consuming a lot more CPU than the other clients. I pushed a fix which brought it down, but having looked at the latest one, I don't think it was as effective as I originally hoped it for. So I've been discussing with Chaitanya his updates as well on what he thinks might have contributed to that. So between the two of us, we'll work out something and submit a PR when we have something ready. Another issue that I looked into was in Lean Quick Start. When Katia restarted the latest DevNet, there was an issue with ETH Lambda. There was a bug in the Ansible code which was not copying over the validator config YAML correctly. So it presumed ETH Lambda was not a client even though it was running, and which was causing a failure. So that was addressed as well. And as she suggested, there has to be some improvements that we'd have to do to Lean Quick Start, which we'd look into in the coming weeks. The other was a planned Hetzner migration. We'll set up a separate Hetzner account for Lean Ethereum. And we were looking to migrate over from ETH Pandops accounts to our Lean Ethereum's Hetzner account. But unfortunately, Hetzner does not provide more servers immediately after we set up an account. So we are allowed only 5 servers now. And until the first bill has been invoiced, we cannot spin up new servers. So what we have done is we have pivoted slightly. We'll continue to use the existing servers partly and partly from the new account. And we'll spin up certain servers and use it exclusively for metrics and other tooling that we need for now. And once we've passed on or paid the first invoice, spin up, request them to increase our quota and spin up more servers there. So hopefully by DevNet 3 or maybe 4, we'll completely migrate over to Lean Ethereum's Hetzner accounts for our service. So that was what I was doing. Major part of my time last week was spent on the Lean Point tool, and I have a working version right now which I could probably demo. So if I can share my screen, so I'll probably try that right now. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a local DevNet of 4 Zeam clients running. Unfortunately, I couldn't test this on DevNet because we don't have a finality there. So I've chosen to run 4 instances of Zeam locally. And as you can see here, we have finality. The latest just finalized slot is 728. So I also have a Lean Point instance container running here, which continuously polls. So if you look at it, I have a Python script within the Lean Point code base, which would accept a validator config as an input and then convert it into an upstream JSON that would be used as a input to the Lean Point tool. So what I did was I picked my local version of Lean Quick Start's local DevNet's validator config, ran the script, and it generated me this. One second. It generated me this local Docker JSON, which essentially what it does is looks at the API port of individual clients and continuously polls them every 5 seconds to understand what is the latest justified and finalized slot, and if it arrives at quorum, and it reports what is the current finalized and justified slot in this UI. So the tool comes with its own UI. As you could see, when it refreshes, it will see that it has 4 clients running. What is the latest finalized slot and what is the latest justified slot, and it also reports what is the stuff here. So in order to demonstrate what happens here, what I would do here is, in the Docker container, maybe I'll stop Zeam 2 image right now. So once I do that, you will notice in a while that it will not report Zeam 2, or it will say Zeam 2 is not available here. So it's still being stopped. So yeah, now Zeam 2 is out. You would notice an error shortly here where it says it's not able to poll Zeam 2. Waiting for the update. It can take a while. So yeah, you see Zeam 2 connection refused. So what I'm going to do right now is start a new instance of Zeam with the node ID as Zeam 2, using the checkpoint URL of this tool, which is local. This particular endpoint serves a SSZ encoded version of the current state. So the expectation is that once I do this, this Zeam instance will automatically initialize its thing with the current finalized slot, which is 764. So when I do that, so I'm starting this right now. I presume you can still see my screen, right? This particular one. So let me go into the log that I have created. Where is that? Sorry. Yeah, Zeam.log. So it's initialized, and as you can see, it has automatically picked the last justified slot as 65 and finalized slot as 65. And then after that, it starts to sync up and catch up with the current network. Although, this would have moved on, and here you would start seeing Zeam 2 also being reported right now. Although it's not on the Docker, but I'm running separately. So the upstream JSON path that I had here is different, but it would still be able to poll. So I was referring to host as host.docker.internal, but because I'm running it as an executable, the URL is different, but it would still catch up and you would see. So sorry, guys. Yeah, this is the one. So it's moved on to 788, but it's slowly catching up. This is the level to which I've got. Maybe it's not fully done yet. I have to test this a bit more and also do a proper testing on the actual DevNet with different clients. But yeah, this is the tool I have right now. Any questions or anything?
So it looked great along with the UI. So I was not expecting UI, so that's was a bonus to see. It looked great, and I think what we need to do is basically we need to, Anshul, maybe try this out and see, we can do syncing, and we are always able to sync using checkpoint sync.
Yeah. My plan next week is to put this on the new metrics related server, provide you with a proper URL which you can consume. And then, yeah, if anyone can feel free to test it out. Hopefully, we
So
have
once-
a finality on the DevNet by then.
So, so once at least the workings of this has been has been sort of sorted, and we are consistently able to show Zeam syncing using this, so we can then present it next week's call on
Okay.
Wednesday. So even if other clients are not ready, so this is also will give them impetus to get ready, right? So
yeah,
let's make sure that using Zeam itself, we are able to robustly sync using checkpoint sync.
Okay. Yeah, that's my update. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Partha, for that interesting demo. It was good. So, anyone else has anything to add before we call it a wrap? All right. Everything looks good. So, we'll see you on Feb 6.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice day.
Bye.
Bye bye.